What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P. the Blunt guy. Hey! And we back with another reaction stream today. Yes, another one. So today, so I seen a video that kind of came across my timeline. It came across last week, but I was like, I'm gonna wait to talk about this, right? I'm gonna wait to talk about this because it seemed like a interesting topic, right? An interesting theory, possibly, right? And it is from a guest of the channel, also a member of the channel as well, a good friend, Best Generations. So I definitely wanted to get into it, especially it's coming from Best Generation, so I know it's going to be good. But before I get into that, make sure you hit that like button. Also, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we also have the Facebook Discord and the Facebook group for anybody looking to join a One Piece community. All of these will be in the description box below, as well as the video we are reacting to from Best Generation today. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all go show Best Gen some love. But yeah, so I seen this I seen this video from Best Gen, and I was like, this seemed like it might be a little controversial, right? It might be a little controversial, right? Because, at least if you just look at the title, some people might look at him like, what is this guy on? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Right? So I'm curious. I'm also curious to see to hear what Best Generation has to his argument on this topic, because if you look at the let me read the title. Let me read the title, because I usually read these titles to get an idea of what the video is about. So the title to today's video is "Why Luffy is Actually the Moon God." One Piece Theory and Analyst, Chapter 1047. So this is also kind of I think it's a chapter review as well as a theory and analyst. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. We got Best Generations in the building. He said, "Let's go, let's go." Hey man, I'm curious to hear what you got to say about this, cause it's like you taking it somewhere. I don't even know if it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? You taking this somewhere I don't think it's supposed to go, man. It's a little controversial take, right? Like, cause isn't Nika the sun god? Doesn't that automatically make Luffy the sun god? What could be the argument against that, right? What could be the argument against that? We also have Elids. He says, "I wish I could be present for this, but I'm about to go watch Doctor Strange." Oh, hey man, I'm not even mad at that, man. I forgot Doctor Strange do come out, or has come out. Was it the day it came out, or does it? Isn't it supposed to come out Friday? Like, don't they usually drop movies on Fridays? That's what I think. I don't know. I know it comes out May. That's all I know. We're in May, so supposedly it's out, and I want to see it as well. I want to see it as well. And we getting thunderstorms in my area. Let me see what they talking about. My bad, y'all. Y'all gotta give me a few seconds. All right, so yeah. All right, so we getting thunderstorms in my area. Hopefully it don't affect the stream, y'all. Hopefully it don't affect the stream. I don't hear any thunder or lightning out right now, so But yeah, man. Hey, let me know how you enjoyed that Doctor Strange movie. Don't spoil nothing for me, but let me know how you enjoy it. Cube said, "I'll be on and off seeing the video, but curious to see the talks that will occur." Shout out to Cube. Welcome to the chat as well. He said, like DJ Khaled would say, another one. Exactly. It is another one, man. We be doing these reaction streams, stream after stream after stream. So it's like another one, right? And this is all within a week, right? Not even like. All right, and we got Adam in the chat said this is going to be great. Can't wait. Shout out to Adam. Hey man, I didn't have a lot of time to read that theory you had, that full theory. I was kind of busy yesterday doing stuff, so yeah. That's why I said it's a lot to process. I kind of read some of it, but I can't really read the whole thing. And Cube says, "Drop the likes, guys. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that." All right, so not Sun God Luffy, Moon God Luffy, right? That's pretty much the gist of what we're talking about today, about the video that we're reacting to. At least based off the title, because we could watch this video and it could go completely a different direction, right? I don't know. And I haven't watched any of the videos, so maybe the title is misleading. But just taking it as at face value about Luffy actually being the Moon God, man, that is a bomb. That would be a bombshell right there. If come to find out, that's we learned that's what the case is, right? Now the thing would be is now the thing I would have to ask, right, is it's already been heavily implied that Nika, this I don't want to say notorious figure, because when you say notorious, that usually means somebody who has notoriety for like something bad, right? I don't want to say infamous either, because that's kind of the same thing. But this legendary figure of Nika, right? He was said to have free slaves and all these things. Who's words, right? Who's words? This is what he heard about Sun God Nika, to the point where he even began to pray to Nika because of his situation. He was in captivity because he failed at protecting the Gummo Gummo no Mi, which we come to learn is the Hito Hito no Mi Nika version, right? Which is odd, right? Which is odd that Who's Who is probably the close, as far as like everybody that we've seen in the series aside from Luffy himself. Who's Who is probably the closest connected to Nika, right? As far as protecting the Hito Hito no Mi version Nika. Like he was in charge of protecting that devil fruit. He also, when he was in prison, he also heard about this legend called Nika, and he started praying to him for freedom, right? For freedom. So it's kind of, I just kind of wanted to kind of throw that out. It's interesting that he's so closely related compared to everybody else we've seen in the series, aside from Luffy, because he has the Nika devil fruit, and you could even possibly say he could be like a reincarnate of Nika. Like, let's say Joy Boy, Luffy is carrying Joy Boy's will. Joy Boy carried Nika's will. So not necessarily a reincarnation, but he carries the will of Nika, also having the devil fruit as well. So yeah. All right. So what was I saying? Okay. So yeah. So now the question is, if we know that Luffy has the Hito Hito no Mi version Nika, right? That's pretty much been established, confirmed by the Gorosei, who, when you look at the Gorosei, they pretty much know a lot about the history of the One Piece world. As far as, I mean, we don't know how long they've lived, but there's some old guys, right? And they seem like they're in the know, especially being at the top of the world government. I'm pretty sure you would know some secrets, right? Maybe they're immortal, maybe they're not. Maybe Eam is immortal, but the Gorosei aren't, and Eam has taught the Gorosei some things. Maybe they're all immortal. We don't know. But I would take at least for now, I'm kind of taking their word as is, right? That the Gumo Gumo no Mi is the Hito Hito no Mi version Nika. So if that's the case, so we know Luffy has the Nika Devil Fruit, the Hito Hito no Mi version Nika, right? We also know that Nika was considered the sun god based off of Who's Who. So if Luffy does indeed have the Nika Devil Fruit, and Who's Who is familiar with the legend of Nika at the very least, a minuscule amount, how would that make Luffy the moon god? Could Who's Who been lied to? Like, could he have been lied to about Nika? Like, could Nika this whole time be the moon god and not the sun god? You know what I'm saying? Cube said, I believe they are immortals, but what kind of immortal is the real question? I don't know. I think a lot of people believe they're immortals, and I don't think there's really nothing that confirms it or has confirmed it other than just pure speculation. So, and I don't really know why people speculated that they're immortals. I mean, I'm just kind of going off of the speculation because I do know that there have been plenty of theories to talk about how the Gorosei are immortals. Now I could believe Eam as well. Like I kind of do believe Eam is. Now Gorosei, I don't know. The Gorosei, I don't know for sure. Could they possibly? But I don't think there was any indication that they are. I don't. But I'm just going to act like they are, for the purpose of the argument. Cube said it's based off of dude that they haven't aged since O'Hara. I mean, we haven't seen them that often, right? They was already old, so I mean, what do they need more wrinkles or something to prove people that they're not immortal? Like over 20, I get that, but old people, when you're already old, 20 years and being older, I mean, you could potentially look older, but you already look old, so it's going to be like any addition you get is it going to make you look older than. I don't know, that's still not convincing to me. It's still anime where you got old guys who are still pretty much able to fight on par with young guys. So, I get what you're trying to say, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, let's get into this video, y'all, because I'm curious what Best Generation has to say. Cube says the short old guy had literally no change in his face. That was the reason why people jumped on this theory. Just explain where the theory comes from. Now I get it. I get where you're explaining. I'm just saying, like, could they have like a slowed aging? That could be the case. It doesn't have to necessarily be or immortality. Now if we learn that they was around since the Void Century, okay. I could definitely agree with that. And I do kind of believe maybe they were around since the Void Century. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I just don't think there's a surefire I don't think there's enough evidence other than the aging thing. Maybe they do have some like de-aging type techniques, right? Something that helps them not age as well. Or they could be immortal. I don't know. That's not. I just don't know where that theory came from. Because if I'm being honest with you guys, a lot of times I also play into that theory as well. You might hear me say something about the Gorosei possibly being immortal. So I'm not against the theory. I'm not arguing the theory. I'm just kind of saying, like, I don't think is really enough evidence to really for certain be sure that they're immortal. I mean, it's a cool theory. There's nothing wrong with it. Like again, like I don't hate theories over here. I like theories if they're well thought out. But I just don't know. But anyway, let's get into this video, y'all. enough of me yapping my mouth. Let's see what Best Generation has to say. Hey man, I gotta tell Best Gen, man. Come on, man. You gotta get a mic stand, brother. Can't be holding the mic, man. You gotta get a mic stand, my G. Or like a table where you can put the mic or something. You know what I mean? Well, it's all good, man. It's all love. It's all love. Let's get into it. Let's get. You know, I'm just messing with. I just gotta mess with my man, Best Gen. He be coming at me too. Let me turn that down because my fan might be blowing in the mic, but you know I gotta keep that thing on because it be hot. I be hot, man. Hey man, shout out to B Wizzle TV. Welcome to the stream and welcome to the channel. He says, I think if the Gorosei were immortal, they'd be worried about the awakening. You mean Luffy? Like the whole devil fruit, gum awakening thing that we heard? I think if the Gorosei. And why do you think they would be, I'm curious, you know, why do you think they'll be worried about the awakening? Just curious where you're going with your speculation. But yeah, let's get into this video.
Yo, what's up people? I hope you have a good one, a nice Easter, a happy celebration, the resurrection of Joy Boy, I mean Jesus. Just kidding, it had to be said though. This is some meme magic that Joy Boy has returned kinda at the same time as Jesus did. So yeah, it is what it is. We just going to leave it at that. Though, before you click away from the video,
Hey man, at least Joy Boy brings joy. You know what I'm saying? Joy Boy brings joy. B Wizzle says they were brushing it off when they said the fruit hasn't awakened in 800 years. Yeah, and but then they did also panic and pretty much order CP0 to prevent that, right? They also told them to kill him right now, so we don't gotta worry about this possible awakening. So unless that's what you mean, like, because you said, is that why you think they were? Are you saying like they were worried because they was worried about the awakening because of their immortality? Like they was worried about Luffy's awakening because of their immortality. Because they did seem a little worried. Because they did tell that one CP0 agent, we call him Dripper Scarfino around here. I forgot who coined that name, but we've been rolling with it around here. So, but yeah, they told him to kill Luffy. So seemed like they did panic a little bit, or they were worried. Let's continue.
I know you have seen the title and the thumbnail and you must be thinking, this
Randy.
guy is insane. There's no freaking way that this video can be right. It's not possible because it was revealed in chapter 1044 that Luffy doesn't have the rubber fruit, but in truth he has the Hito no Mi model Nika, which is named after the sun. God. So how can it possibly be that Luffy is the moon god? Right? Wrong! Yes, I agree with that assessment.
Hit him with that wrong. I hear that thunder, y'all. I hear that thunder coming. Q said Randy Troy named him that. Yeah, I know it was Randy. I just, I just didn't say the name. But yeah. See, Best Gen gonna have to. This is an uphill battle to convince me that Luffy's the moon god, but you know, I kind of like the idea of like somebody like Blackbeard or Eam Sama. I kind of like them. I like the idea of one of them being the moon god. You know, especially since the Yami no Mi looks so similar to the Gumu no Mi, right? And then we learn that the Gumu no Mi is the Hito no Mi. It's the Hito no Mi Nika version, right? And it looks just like Blackbeard. And then you look at Luffy and Blackbeard is he's like the polar opposite of Luffy. He's like anti-Luffy, right? And they both got similar looking devil fruits, except You know, he got the Yami Yami, or he has the Yami Yami no Mi, right? And if you think about this, why does the Yami Yami no Mi, why is it a dark devil fruit, right? Why is it a dark devil fruit? It doesn't work like a Logia, even though just like the Gumu Gumu no Mi doesn't work like a Permesia, which they pretty much called it most of the series. The Yami Yami doesn't really work like a Logia. You know, I mean, you could say darkness is an element, but the rest of the functions of the devil fruit ability works nothing like a Logia. You know, like every Logia we see has like an intangibility to it, except the Yami Yami no Mi. And we know that the Yami Yami no Mi is a darkness fruit. But when you look at the moon, they also have the dark side of the moon, right? The dark side of the moon. So maybe, you know, the darkness of the Yami Yami no Mi is more of a byproduct of the moon god. You know, kind of like the rubber properties of Luffy's devil fruit is a byproduct of the zone devil fruit of the Nika. You know, the Hito Hito no Mi Nika version. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. You know. Q said Yami being a MZ mystical zone could explain more about Blackbeard and how he can tank so much damage. True. That exactly. He is kind of a tank, right? He is a bit of a tank. Let's continue.
And on the surface this is true, but I think you will soon see that the truth might be a little bit more nuanced than you might initially think. And I know guys, I have been doing streams recently, I had a lot of private stuff going on, so yeah, I wasn't 100% here. I didn't have time to make the theories I wanted to make. Believe me, they're all still coming. They're locked and loaded, half of it is all recorded.
Hey, Best Jam, man, I hope whatever you was going through, if you was going through any personal issues, I hope you worked all that out. I'm glad that you came back to YouTube because it was noticeable that you was going for a little bit, you know, that you kind of stepped away. So, yeah, I hope you worked out whatever you was going through. If it was any issues, any personal issues, unless you was just taking a break, which is cool as well. You know what I mean? I get it, but it's good to have you back in the community. Best and look, I say that and he comes back to the chat. He says, "Yo, hello everybody. Shout out to Best Gen. Let's get into it."
Just have to get down to edit it, but right now I'm trying to build up my Twitch, so if you guys are interested in the live streams and want to support the channel, I would urge you to follow me on Twitch. There I regularly stream on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 18 o'clock European Central Time. So I hope I will see you there and we're gonna have a great time. Now let's get into it. How can it be that
Best Jen said, "Life is very Gucci now. Thank you very much." Hey man, it's all good, bro. You know, it was noticeable not having you around because I'll go looking up. Like, let me see if Best Jim posted something because he might have something I could react to, right? But I think it was like a stream or something. I think that was like the last thing he posted. He said that Twitch part didn't age well. Switch to you switch back to YouTube. Hey, yeah, I don't blame you. I tried Twitch before and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't stick with it too long. I ain't gonna lie. I think I switched to Facebook gaming. I don't remember. Hey man, I gotta ask you, Best Jen. Man, you gotta get a microphone stand, man. What's up with that? You gotta get you a little microphone stand. So you know what I mean? It's all good though. It's all good. I'm just messing with you. Let's go.
Luffy is the moon god? Is there even a moon god in the story of One Piece? Yes, many people have already theorized it's probably Blackbeard or Emo. Why that is often not given, but
Best Jen, I swear you was reading my mind when you said that. I feel like when you made this video, you predicted I might react to it with Madam Shirley's level of future sight hockey, right? You predicted it, and you was like, you know, I know he's gonna say something about Blackbeard and Eam being the moon god, so let me get that out of the way right now. He said, I got you clocked. Hey, you got me. You got me. You definitely covered you covered your ass. You covered your ass on that one. Even though I already kind of talked about it already, so yeah. And I'm gonna probably talk about it again. But let's see what you got to say, man.
If you follow this channel for a longer time, you know exactly how it's possible that Blackbeard and Emu might have the moon god Devil Fruit. For Blackbeard, he is a D. He was introduced at Lockdown during the
Matter of fact, you was the one that made that theory, if I remember correctly. I think I thought about it. I think we might have talked about it a little bit, and then you made a theory, or I think I was like I think I talked about it in the stream, in like the chapter stream, and you kind of already had like a video about it, and then I seen you had a video, and I was like, oh, we kind of came up with a similar theory, except you actually made a theory video around the time I just kind of like randomly thought about it. Future sight intensifies. Let's continue.
night and the moon. He has the ability of darkness, which of course is also associated with the moon, because when is the moon out? When it's nighttime, when it's dark outside. That's why in the story, Blackbeard is associated with darkness and the moon, and the very same thing is true for Emu, who is the leader of the world government, and the world government has been described as the darkness before. And if you really think about it, Emu kinda did what Blackbeard wants to do right now. Yes, the world government switched places and became the order of the One Piece world. So they used to be the outlaws / pirates, and then they became the established order. And this is the current time that is present in the story of One Piece. The world government reigns supreme, and Luffy will bring the dawn of the world, which means that necessarily right now, metaphorically, in the story of One Piece, it must be the nighttime / where the moon reigns supreme. And that of course is true because the world government is in power. So we understand from a symbolic meaning, it makes sense that Emu or Blackbeard would have the moon god Devil Fruit. I totally agree.
And then Luffy would also be considered the sun, because he's going to bring in the dawn, right? The dawn of the new era, the day, you know. And that's when the sun comes out during the day, right? And Luffy is pretty much the sun, you know what I'm saying? Like, figuratively, if you look at symbolic, you know, if we speak it kind of like symbolically and not just for the sake of theory, right?
Agree with that assessment, and that is the first assumption I had as well. Though there is something strange going on with the moon that is happening in the background all the time, and that is that the moon is associated with the allies of the ancient kingdom, and in particular Shandoria and Wano. For Shandoria, the island where the Shandorians used to live is formed like a crescent moon. And the same is true for the Kozuki, who of course have the crescent moon all over them. Then there are characters like Toki.
Yeah, and which that is a good point, and that is something I actually thought about, right? Like, if Luffy is the sun god, why are like a lot of his allies, why are they more associated with the moon? You know, like when we look at the Koski clan, and you know they got the crescent moons, and then I think most of the other Wano clans also had moon related names, right? Except for the Kazumi clan. Like, they were the only clan that didn't have like a moon based name. So yeah, I always thought, like, why isn't any of Luffy's allies associated with the sun, right? So I mean, good point. You know, but we don't really know any enemies though that are really associated with the sun either, though. You know, or the moon. You know, as far as like, you know, how the Koski, they have like the crescent moon tattoos. They had the you know, and the other clans as well. So I don't know. You know, I don't know. But it's a good point. Let's continue.
Amatsuki we could be focusing on, but for this video you just have to realize that the moon is also associated with the allies of the ancient kingdom, which will then necessarily mean that the ancient kingdom also appreciates the moon in a certain way that is not yet fully understood, but is only being foreshadowed to us. So what role might the moon play for the allies of the ancient kingdom and the ancient kingdom itself, if it seems like that they have no problem with the moon in principle and that they associate with it openly? Maybe it's not black and white as we think it is, that the moon can actually be a good thing. Yes, right now in the story of One Piece, the moon is associated with the evil entities as with Blackbeard and the world government. Yes, that is true, but in principle, there's nothing necessarily wrong with a moon god. Now that we understand this, let's...
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it's a yin and a yang type situation where it's like the moon and the sun are equal to a degree. Like you kind of need the sun, you do need the sun, you need the moon or whatever. You know, it might be more of a situation where like some people fall more on one side than the other, you know. But, you know, definitely a good point. I don't think it's necessarily just because you fall under the moon or you're necessarily a good person or you're a bad person either. Best Gen says Zoe has also sun, moon god, didn't put it in the vid. Dun, Dusk, Dukes. Yeah, I didn't catch that. I didn't know about the Zoe has also sun and moon god. Yo, we got Angel in the building. He said, "Yo, sorry for my late entrance. Hey, it's all good. You dropping down like Kaido, making an epic entrance." But yeah, but Luffy, okay, cause I also kind of want to make an argument against that point from earlier about Luffy's allies having moon based, because even based on a scan you just showed, when we see the Sun Pirates tattoo, like we know that Jinbei and the fishmen, you know, especially specifically the Sun Pirates, they were their whole theme was the sun, you know. So Luffy does have some allies with sun themes as well as allies with moon themes, and I feel as though there's more symbols, but I can't really think of any right now. So I'm gonna just continue this video. So let's go.
Let's get into the reveal that many people have talked about, and that is the reveals of the four gods in Skypiea / the flashback of Shandoria. The four gods are the god of the sun as the supreme, the god of the rain, the god of the forest, and the god of the earth. These are the four gods that have been introduced in Shandoria, and also it has been explained in the very same flashback that the Shandorians, they worship their ancestors as gods. So human beings have been elevated into godhood status. So these four gods have been actually people that walked the earth. And of course, the god of the sun is in mythology often the supreme deity of all gods, which contextualize the importance of the sun god appearing in the story of One Piece. It makes actually too much sense, quite frankly. Though,
kind of speaking on Skypiea, because I seen a recent it's thundering out there right now, y'all. So about that thunderstorm I talked about earlier. So yeah, I seen a theory video that I might react to. I might react to it tomorrow. I think it was by Randy Troy. I'm not too sure, but I think the theory video was about Nika being a snake. So sun god Nika, the like the devil, like Luffy, right? The sun, the Hito no Mi being a snake like devil fruit. Now I didn't watch the video, so I'm not going to try to explain what the video is about or anything. But just kind of getting this idea about the snake, like Nika being a snake or having like snake-like abilities, which can explain why Luffy's able to extend himself. But I don't think snakes are that elastic, right? But when we go back to Skypiea, and we look at the flashback, right, when Nolan Mont Blanc went to Jaya, and when he got there, they were doing like a sacrifice. I think Call was sacrificing his daughter or something. I think it was Call daughter, and she was sacrifice herself to the, and they said it's to the sun god. I think I could be wrong. And it was that snake. It was that big snake that Mont Blanc ended up pretty much cutting and killing. So they called that snake, if I remember correctly. Somebody could correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, because maybe it was just because I think I was watching the anime, right? I think it was English dub on Pluto TV. If y'all ever get that app, Pluto TV, they got like a One Piece channel, but it's all One Piece episodes in dub. So if you don't like the dub, you ain't gonna like it. I think it's dub. It could be sub. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they called the snake sun god. So it's like, did Nika have relations with a snake? Like, was Nika related to snakes, or like how that worked? But seeing that theory video that whoever it was, it just made me think of that. And we're talking about Sun God Nika now, and Skypea and all that. Best Gen said we could hear it. And then Angel's Room said Nika equals snake. Pretty funny. Might be interesting to watch. Yeah, I might have to find that and watch it. We probably gonna have to watch it for tomorrow maybe, because I think it was kind of a long video. But yeah, let's continue.
What I want to draw your attention to is that the god of the moon is not present in the 4 gods that have been mentioned there. And there are basically only 3 explanations for that. First of all, there is no moon god. There's no guy who walked the earth who is associated with the moon that has been elevated into godhood status. And if that's the case, it is what it is. But for my personal assessment, I think this is by far the least likely possibility. The second possibility: the Shandorans, and by extension the ancient kingdom, wasn't allied with a moon god. The moon god was not one of the ancestors that they have worshipped. Hence, why it's not appearing as one of the gods that they worship. I think this possibility makes a lot of sense actually, and I would say this is the safe assumption.
I would also say there is a third possibility for you, Best Gen. Maybe, right? Maybe, because when we look at day, we look at night as the opposite of day. So the moon would be the opposite of the sun. Not like literally. They're both celestial figures when you look at it like from a astronomy point of view. They don't directly oppose each other or anything. But for the sake of symbolism, like we got day, which is the opposite of night, so that'd be sun being the opposite of the moon. So maybe the moon god is more like the devil or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, and I'm just throwing that kind of as a third option. Maybe it's more of a antagonist of the sun god. Maybe the moon god is the antagonist of the sun god. Like, I don't want to say Hades, because even Hades wasn't necessarily bad. He was just kind of necessary, right? But maybe it was just kind of an antagonistic relationship, right? So maybe that's why they don't worship the moon god, because it's almost like a Christian worshiping Satan or something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's kind of my idea, to give you that third option. Angel's Room said he was called 4 different gods. Are you talking about that snake? Yeah, I think somewhere I heard them, like they say the Wisdom King. I don't know. Best Gen said, feel amazing, man. Let's go. Let's go then. All right, let's
already understand this. that the moon opposes the sun to a certain extent. This ties into mythology, the changing of times, that the sun is replaced by the moon replaced by the sun, the cycle of life. We already talked about this. There will be a link in the video description if you're interested. And I would say this is a safe bet that we can totally assume. There is actually a third possibility, and this possibility, even though it sounds a little bit far,
Man, now you pulling a third possibility out. I thought you only had two, man.
off, it has actually a lot of evidence to it, and that is that the moon god actually appears within the four gods, but the moon god is not what we think it is. And of course I'm talking about the sun god, and in particular Luffy and Nika, cause for some reason when Joy Boy returned, when the sun god Nika form appeared in the story of One Piece, Luffy jumps up and he is positioned in front of the moon. So the sun god is associated with the moon somehow. And yes, I understand that this might be like a showcase of the sun god reigning supreme over the moon. That is its stated enemy, and the sun god will conquer the moon of the story of One Piece. Yes, that interpretation is totally fine, and I agree with it.
So, all right, I'm trying to summarize, I guess, what you just said. So what you're saying is maybe the sun god is the moon god. Like the sun god and the moon god are more interchangeable. Like, are they? Are you saying that they're, you know? I'm a little confused. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit to try to, you know what I'm saying, peep what he said again.
Totally assume. There is actually a third possibility, and this possibility, even though it sounds a little bit far off, it has actually a lot of evidence to it, and that is that the moon god actually appears within the four gods, but the moon god is not what we think it is. And of course I'm talking about the sun god, and in particular Luffy and Nika, cause for some reason when Joy Boy returned, when the sun god Nika form appeared in the story of One Piece, Luffy jumps up and he is positioned in front of the moon. So the sun god is associated with the moon somehow. And yes, I understand that this might be like a showcase of the sun god reigning supreme over the moon. That is its stated enemy, and the sun god will conquer the moon of the story of One Piece. Yes, that
Okay, so all right, so you said they are one and the same, possibly. All right, all right, so you're pretty much saying they're one and the same. Okay, I think I'm getting a little more. I don't know. I don't know if I kind of like the idea of them opposing. You know what I'm saying? Cause I mean, to be fair though, I did react to, cause Elids, right? Elids has a this was before we got the whole reveal about Nika and all that. At least the Nika Devil Fruit. Luffy, Elids had a theory about Luffy's Gear 5th or his awakening being him having like a sun god version and a moon god version. So, I mean, this wouldn't be that kind of off from his theory as well, you know. But Angel Room said also appearing with color white in Gear 5th gives me more of an moon vibes than sun. What he said? He said that. He said that. Yeah. Elids had a theory that this was before we learned that the Gummo Gummo no Mi was special. Like, this was before that. He said that like the awakening, Luffy's awakening will be he would have like a sun god form and he would have a moon god form. You have to go check his video out. Like you have to look it up. But because he has two separate videos. One talking about sun god Luffy and one talking about moon god Luffy. And this was around the time where he was talking about like Nightmare Luffy. He had like a Nightmare Luffy theory that kind of played into the sun god, and it also played into the moon god. So yeah, go check him out. Go check that out. Let's continue.
Interpretation is totally fine, and I agree with it. Though, mind you, right now the form that Luffy is using is more akin to a moon god than a sun god. And I know it sounds insane, how can you say that? We will get into it right now, don't worry. First of all, how does Luffy look like in this new form? He is completely turned into white. He is not yellow, he is not golden, he doesn't have a fiery shine, he is white. And what of the two entities, sun or moon, is white? You know the answer, the moon.
The sun. The sun. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Best just said, damn, insane take. I mean, yeah, man. Like, man, I mean, like, I don't got nothing to argue it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really got nothing to argue it. But it's like, could the sun and the moon be one and the same in the series? Like I don't know. I can't really argue it. You know. Let's continue. Let's continue. I need to hear more of what you say. You said it doesn't make sense yet. I feel as though it does make sense, but I feel like if they was gonna make him the moon god, they should have just made him the moon god. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm kind of like, you know, a part of me want to disagree with it, and a part of me want to agree with it. You know what I'm saying? A part of me kind of like it and want to, cause like the white hair and the appearance and everything, it's kind of a good point, right? But it's like, why do they stress him being the sun god so much and not even mention the moon god? Let's continue.
Moon is fully white. And when the Joy Boy return, during the night, when there is a full moon. Furthermore, how does Luffy act right now? He acts like a Looney Tune character. And you know exactly what I mean. They're popping out, they're running like a roadrunner, they're turning into Popeye with the muscles, the spinach. You get the drift. He acts like a Looney Tunes comic character. And what is a Looney Tune referring to? It refers to acting loony, which means crazy, and of course lunatic refers to what? Lunar, the moon. Looney Tunes themselves are related to the moon. And
man, you got me laughing how you how you gotta break it down like that. Oh man, you got me tripping out here. Angel's Room say, yeah, that's why I get more of the moon vibe from Gear 5th colors. Yeah, I mean, Adam says, I mean, something has to bond the days together. And then Stan says, the true color of the sun is white and not yellow. That's why he is white. That's actually kind of a good point, right? Now, I didn't know the true color of the sun was white, but it does kind of make sense because when, like, maybe we see it as yellow because the is how light work, right? Like light works very funny, right? Like light has a very it works funny, you know, which is part of the reason why I think Kizaru's devil fruit. If Oda really wanted to go like really get ridiculous with Kizaru's powers, bro, that'd be like if he could start controlling the spectrum of light, bro, that'd be ridiculous. But I don't think that. I think there's more of a Promethea way of abilities and not a Logia way, like to actually be able to manipulate light. Like I know he can, you know, he is light and he can manipulate the light that he produces, but I don't know if he could just manipulate light. But yeah, but light works weird, right? Like it bounces off of certain surfaces and then goes into your eyes, and then you that's what you see, right? But you know, I could probably argue that the sun only looks yellow to us because of like the atmosphere and everything. You know, kind of like why when we look at the sky, why is it blue, right? Why is it blue and not? Why don't we just see the black space past the? You know that a lot of that has something to do with the atmosphere and how it manipulates light. I think, but I'm not a scientist, so I'm not. I can't explain these concepts too well. But good point, Stan. Best Jen said, totally seriously explaining that proves I have issues. And then Adam says the sun is also what makes our clouds white. And Stan says we see it as yellow because of the atmosphere. Yeah, I kind of, but yeah, I agree. And then Angel Room said, interesting. I didn't know the sun was white. I mean, like you really got to understand how color work. You know what I'm saying? Like it would make sense why it is white though. You know, if that is the case. I don't know for certain though. I don't know for certain. But I do know that the atmosphere does kind of manipulate how we see things. You know, so the sun looking yellow to us isn't that far of a stretch. Because when you look at firework, when you look at fire and how it works, like yellow fire isn't like the lighter the fire is, the hotter it is. You know, so yellow fire isn't as hot as like blue fire. So white fire will probably be the hottest fire. You know, you look at the sun and it being one of the hottest objects in our solar system, you know, it would make sense if it's white, you know. And Adam says it's really a spectrum, like a full rainbow, just what we can perceive. Exactly. Like I said, it's funny how color works, and I feel as though if Oda really went ham with Kizaru's ability, Kizaru should be able to manipulate color to a degree, you know, he could really manipulate how we perceive the world around us, which would be a very dangerous ability if really used to its max, you know. And that's part of the reason why I think his ability is so scary to me, you know. If it really fully if Oda really goes hard with it. Adam says I'm actually red green colorblind though, so I really don't know. Hey man, yeah, I don't know how it is to be colorblind, man. I can't say it sucks because you probably don't really even notice what you're missing out on or anything, or if you're even missing out on a thing. Now, you know, it could be dangerous in some situations though if you can't read the color correctly and you need to. Stan says it would make more sense if either Emu or Blackbeard is the moon god, not Luffy. Yeah, I've said about Blackbeard, and I think it could be Blackbeard because the moon, because when you you could associate darkness with the moon because there's like the dark side of the moon, and also when you look at Blackbeard's devil fruit, when you look at the Yami Yami no Mi and you compare it to the Gummo Gummo no Mi, they look very similar. You know, I mean, there's slight differences, but you know, they look similar. They look like they could be relatable devil. If certain devil fruits could be related to other devil fruits, they look like they'd be related. Angel's Room said the moon god is Buggy. No. No, why would Buggy be the moon god, man? Luffy's true rival. I don't know about all that now. Come on now. I know we love Buggy around here, but come on now. Let's go.
And lastly, the last parallel that we're gonna talk about in this video, the association of Luffy with lightning. Because in Skypiea, where we get the flashback and the introduction of the four gods, the enemy of that arc is Enel, who is a moon god who wants to travel to the moon. And what is his devil fruit ability? It is lightning. He has control of electricity. And by the end, he even turns into a thunder god called Raijin. And what does Luffy do? He first of all, like Enel, drums up his heart again in a state of dying. With his devil fruit, he constantly emits lightning, as we see throughout the entire fight. Plus, Luffy is able to summon lightning and even catch it with his bare freaking...
Now I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Is Luffy really summoning this lightning, or was it just happen to be lightning because all these clouds that Kaido kind of conjured up, right? Like, I don't know if I could say for sure if Luffy was actually producing that lightning. You know, like I would probably believe that maybe those clouds, you know, maybe he like reached into the cloud, grabbed the lightning bolt, rubberized it, and then did that. But I don't know if he actually produced that lightning, you know. And I'm not saying he didn't. I just don't know. I just need some type of... I need to see him do it again, possibly, or I need some type of confirmation, because there was already clouds in the sky when they, you know, pretty much for most of this fight there's been clouds around, you know, because Kaido's devil fruit and him turning into dragon and him creating all these clouds, and they just kind of they kind of linger in the sky. So I don't know if Luffy actually produced the lightning, or if he just kind of like grabbed one, you know, while it was already happening. You know, I like to believe that. I like that idea more than the idea of him actually producing lightning, you know. But that's just me though. That's just me. Stan says, because some people speculate that emo spelled backwards is umi, which means sea in Japanese, and we do know that the moon has effect on the sea. So either emu was a water fruit or is a moon god. I'm kind of not against... I'm actually not against him being like having like a water fruit. Like, if there was one person in the series who could have like a water devil fruit, or has a devil fruit that water doesn't work on, I'm cool with it being Emu. You know what I'm saying? Especially if Emu is going to be one of the final fights in the series. I'm actually cool with it being Emu, because it'll make him a very OP guy just off of that alone, you know, and that's not even talking about if he knows hockey and all that other stuff. And I actually kind of like the idea of Emu not even having the devil fruit, of him like maybe gaining abilities through hockey. You know what I mean? Like kind of how me and Eliz talks about like creating devil fruit abilities with hockey. Like if Emu does something like that, bro, that would be dope. You know. Best Gen said Luffy be summoning. Believe you me, will be a hill I would die on. I am wholesale into Luffy saving himself during his execution. Wow, I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if I like the idea of Luffy just being able to summon lightning at will. You know what I mean? To me, even lightning doesn't to me, it just doesn't fall under the scope of his devil fruit, which is already OP as we see it, you know. Like, I think a lot of stuff we've seen till now with Luffy's devil fruit, this devil fruit awakening, to me it makes sense, as like it could be explainable to a degree, except for maybe the eyes popping out. Like, now that's a little, I can't really explain that, but everything else it's explainable. Him being able to grab the ground and use it as a shield and then throw Kaido's blast breath back at him. It makes sense. He turned the ground into rubber, stretched it. It was like a rubber band, slung it right back at Kaido. Made sense. Him almost falling off Onigashima and then running like running along the sky like it's a highway. It makes sense. You turn the air into rubber. Him grabbing a thunderbolt, it makes sense. He turned the lightning into rubber and made it to where he could grab it. Him summoning the lightning, that don't make sense to me. I'm just saying, it don't make sense to me. Angel's Room said, we the readers summoned the lightning. We kind of like put our hands in the air like a spirit bomb and created that lightning for Best just said creating fire. I mean, that's a good point. The whole creating fire, but that's one of the things that we've been knew he could do. So we still don't have an explanation on that, but yeah, good point. Good point. I get that to you. Let's continue.
Hands looking like a thunder god, and the thunder god is associated with Enel to the moon. So Luffy right now doesn't act like a sun god in the slightest. He acts like a moon god. How can it be? Why does Luffy act like a moon god? There are basically two explanations. The first explanation, Luffy is also a moon god. Yes, he is the sun god. But because of Luffy's unique position in the story and what he represents, Oda chose to make Luffy also the moon god. Why? Luffy is officially the light bringer of the story of One Piece. And the light bringer is in mythology Venus. And Venus is a star that appears first.
Oh man, no, not Oda doing what Tite Kubo did. We don't know. Please don't bring that to One Piece. Making Luffy the sun god, the moon god, the D, the chosen one. All these, you know what I'm saying? Like how we had Ichigo. He was a human, a Shinigami, Hollow, Quincy, Fullbringer. He might have been the Bounce. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, I forget what they call him, Bounce or whatever. They were like vampirish or something. I don't think he was, but just throwing that out there. And then Best Gen says, it's true, Luffy is everything, actually. Please, no, don't do that. I don't want no overpowered Luffy, man. I want a realistic to One Piece powered Luffy. That's what I want. You know.
And last in the sky when the sun and the moon changes its place. So in the morning, Venus appears first when the sun rises, and when the sun sets, it's the first star that also appears. It's a harbinger of times changing. So Luffy being the sun and the moon god at the same time makes, from a mythological standpoint, a lot of freaking sense. Especially if you consider that he also represents balance in the story. The in-between of the sun and the moon that will ultimately change the world from the moon to the sun era. And I think that interpretation makes a lot of sense with the info that is given to us. Though there is a second possibility that I think is quite spicy. And that is Luffy is not using his real form yet. Yes, maybe the reason why Luffy doesn't act like a sun god but like a moon god is because it's nighttime right now where the full moon is out. What happens if daybreak comes and then...
Now, I kind of like this idea though. Like, I'll give you this one. I do kind of like this idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he's getting moon abilities because it's nighttime. Like, maybe it kind of switches depending. I actually now you kind of winning me over. It took at the end. Now you kind of winning me over with this theory, Best Gen. Just a little bit though. I'm not fully on board just yet. Fully, I don't hate the theory. But I'm saying I just don't know if I'm sold on him being both the sun and the moon god. But now you're kind of winning me over. Now, Best just said Monkey, probably original Nika line. Joy Boy has awakened Nika Devil or Nika Fruit is a D. Hockey 100%. Master 100% Devil Fruit Master. 100% Voice of All Creation Master by the end. Oh boy. Stop it. Stop it. No. No. Best Jen said, that's why I said you have to wait. It doesn't make sense. And the Angels Room said, well, after this arc, Luffy won't be an underdog character. And then he said, didn't make sense. Angels Room said, he is now considered one of the strongest characters. Yeah, I like, I'm going to tell y'all, man, like, I love Naruto, but the one thing about Naruto that kind of turned me off, and it didn't turn me off of the whole series. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not going to say, this, what happened made me hate the series, because Naruto's like my second favorite anime, right? I like long running anime for the most part, but Naruto's like top 2, top 3 my favorite animes after One Piece. But I hated during the Great Fourth Ninja War when they started like when it just kind of like trying to go into Dragon Ball Z territory, when it went from like ninjas with jutsus that could manipulate elements and stuff, going into DBZ territory where now they're like capable of destroying planets and stuff. I'm not saying Naruto is, I'm just saying, but where it just kind of left its where it started. It left its roots and tried to be Dragon Ball Z pretty much. And I didn't, at least to me it did. And I didn't like that. I didn't like Kaguya. She just seemed like a random throw in to the series, you know what I mean? I don't know, and to me I just don't want One Piece going that route. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it is, at least yet, but I don't want to see Oda trying to make Luffy into where he could compete with Goku at this point. I don't need Luffy beating Goku. I don't need that, or beating Naruto or anything. I don't need that. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? I like the story. I just want a good story. Best Gen said he made it to the top. The era of underdog is over. He's Yonko. I don't think Luffy, like, look, I'm not a supporter of this Luffy for Yonko thing that's been going around, because I don't think Luffy needs to be a Yonko. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel as though Yonko served a specific purpose, and Luffy has no need to fulfill that purpose. You know, like, Yonko were there to keep balance. Luffy's purpose is to become Pirate King. That's like, that's grander than just being Yonko. You know, and I don't take Big News Morgans as the authority on giving people titles. You know, he's just a guy who runs the newspaper. Even though his word could kind of influence other people to go, run with that, though. So, you know, but that's kind of, it is what it is with that, though. But that don't officially make him an official Yonko. You know, let's continue.
Then Luffy will turn into his true Sun God form that we haven't seen yet, and will be completely different than what is going on right now. Honestly, I love that possibility so much that I will take a wild guess right now, but at the same time, the first possibility has so much credibility that I don't really know what to choose right now and where to put my bets in. I think both interpretations are totally valid, though I just like the idea of Oda tricking us with this Sun God form not being the Sun God form but being the Moon God form, and that Luffy will awake his real ability when the sun is out, and that Luffy's ability depends on the time of the day. I like that idea so much, and it would fit perfectly with Luffy's character that I just want it to be true. So guys, I hope I didn't promise you too much and that this video changed your mind. Yes, it probably sounded crazy at the beginning of this video that Luffy is the Moon God. What are you talking about? But after going through this evidence, I think it's undeniable that it's at least possible that Luffy is also the Moon God with being the Sun God at the same time. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below if if I change your mind. Subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with everybody you think would be interested in it. And by the way, if you are on Reddit or something like this, post it in the forums you're discussing. We need to take over YouTube, quite frankly. It has been over a year. It's time we hit it out of the park and take freaking over. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and talk to you next time. Have a nice one. Bye bye.
All right, man. I already liked it, so make sure y'all go click that link in the description box that lead to his video. Go give him a like. He supports the channel, so I definitely want to support his channel. Best Jen said that's a fair point, just in terms of strength recognition in the world. Yeah, and the Angels Room said, I'm not saying Luffy going to be a Yonko. I'm just saying he ain't an underdog after this arc. Yeah, I think the whole underdog point. I think at this point he ain't. If he was going to beat Kaido, even if without this new form, if Luffy somehow defeated Kaido by himself, I don't think there was any question that he ain't going to be an underdog no more anyway, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you're already defeating one of the strongest characters in the world, right? So at that point, you're no longer a underdog at that point. You might have been an underdog fighting him going into that fight, but coming out of that fight, if you win, you ain't an underdog. But yeah, I definitely agree with that. You did kind of sound crazy in the beginning. Just the point that it did sound a little crazy. But I think at the end, I kind of like that. I like the last explanation, because the sun god doesn't necessarily, because it could be a thing where, like you said, the sun god doesn't necessarily mean you're just the actual sun. It could be a title, right? Like, because think about it. Back in ancient times, people considered a lot of things differently than we would consider it, right? Like, maybe the sun and the moon to some people at some point in time were the same in history, right? Like a lot of people, they thought the world was flat. Some people still do think the world is flat. I'm not about to sit here and argue. I'm not about to fight that argument. But it just shows that, beliefs in how the world worked were different, in history. So that could also kind of apply to the One Piece world, right? Like maybe before the current era, like back in the day, the sun and the moon were one and the same to people. Maybe when they created this ideology of a sun god, maybe the sun and the moon were two sides of the same coin, right? So maybe to them, the sun god and the moon god were the same. They were the same being, the same deity. So if that is the case, maybe there is something to this. Maybe Luffy, during the nighttime, his moon god form comes out and he has more moon-based powers or abilities. Maybe during the day, the sun god, he might look different. He might have a different look, may have different abilities, or maybe he may have the same abilities, it's just different looks. Or maybe his abilities are a lot stronger during the sun, and maybe when the moon's out, his abilities are a lot more tamed or something. I don't know. Best Jen said, was this all a plot to state the Luffy is the moon god and the last point was the reasonable take? Don't know. Don't know what you talking about. Like, this is a lot. Hey, man. But I get what you tried to do, though. You tried to stir the pot in the beginning. You knew a lot of people was going to be like, what the hell he talking about? Luffy ain't the sun god. What you mean he's the moon god? It was already stated Luffy is the sun god. What is this idiot talking about? But then when they actually listen, and then if they stick through to it to the end, which I don't know, some people it might be hard to sit there and listen to that, right? To stick through it to the end, right? When they do, they're like, you know what? I actually don't disagree with it. I see what you did, though. I see what you did. Shout out to Best Jam with that, though. And he says, sheesh, tactical error. You are totally right. Hey, man, it's that observation hockey. It's that King's observation hockey. Angel's Room said, misinformation is one of the biggest things to cause problems in One Piece. Facts. But that's what makes it so great, right? You see how something such as misinformation in a story could lead to bigger implications. Kind of like I feel as though if Big News Morgans wouldn't have said all that stuff in the newspaper about Luffy after Whole Cake Island, maybe Big Mom wouldn't have been as mad, and maybe she wouldn't have chased Luffy to Wano, right? Like I know she was mad, I get it, but now the world knows that Luffy pretty much came into her territory and did everything he did. So now it's kind of like she has to respond, right? And that kind of plays into this idea how misinformation can or how inaccurate information can lead to bigger implications in the story, which is dope. Best Jen says, should have done the reasonable take in the middle and then go crazier. I think you did well with the make you hate me in the beginning and then I'm gonna butter you up at the end. I'm gonna butter you up with something that makes even more sense, And he said, bro, if you would have asked me if Luffy had the Nika fruit, is a zone and doesn't have the rubber fruit, I have said this is misinformation, but here we are. Good point. And that's what I say a lot when people sit here and tell me like, oh, that couldn't be, like, we never got that in the story before. So, and I'm like, I mean, well, Oda, doesn't always get, there's a lot of stuff that happens later that had zero foreshadowing to it, and there's a lot of stuff that if I tell you this happened, which happened now, if I told you this was gonna happen a couple hundred chapters ago, you wouldn't have believed me, right? So, and that's why I don't like to shut out certain theories. I'm not going to shut this theory out either, but I think at the end you kind of won me over though. I'm not saying I'm fully 100% on your theory, but it doesn't sound ridiculous, or it doesn't sound. It's a lot easier to digest than the earlier speculation, if that makes sense. Like at the end, it was a lot easier to digest and make sense of compared to the beginning of it. The Angel's Room said, yeah, if he didn't say Big Mom lost, she wouldn't have left Whole Cake Island. They usually partying in the nighttime or sunset too. But yeah, exactly. Like what you said about Big Mom, like, misinformation. That's misinformation for you right there, and the impacts that it can have. And that's why I love this story so much, man. That's why I love this story of One Piece so much, because it really shows you how something so insignificant in the world could have like a domino effect and lead to bigger things, right? Like Black Bear wanted the Yami Yami no Mi, and it led him to killing Thatch, which led to Ace chasing him, which led to Shanks meeting up with Whitebeard and telling Whitebeard, hey, you should probably call Ace back. Blackbeard's a little dangerous. And then Whitebeard they ain't want to listen to him, And then we get Marineford, which led to Luffy going to Impel Down and then Marineford, and like it's wild, and that's one of the to me that's one of the best things about One Piece, man. Compared to a lot of other anime, you don't get that much like depth. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that much like world depth that you get in One Piece, to where something that's unrelated to the Straw Hats at the moment could eventually somehow impact them later on in the story. And I'm not saying One Piece is the only series that does that, but it's one of the only series that has been doing that like very well for as long as it's been doing it, and has been doing it pretty much the whole time it's been around. See what you guys saying. Best just said Angel's Room, great point. That ended the Yonko basically. Such a good point. And the Angel's Room said party are also chaotic, like your Looney Tunes point. And then Best Jen says the Looney Tunes point was quite frankly insane to state in hindsight. Don't know why I would think I could get away with it. I like Looney. What are you talking about, Looney Tunes? I mean, I get what you're trying to do, but it didn't really stick with me. That's why you didn't really win me over till the end of it, because the Looney Tune reference didn't really grab me. I mean, I kind of get where you was trying to go with it, but it didn't really grab me. Then he says Luffy acts Looney Tune or Looney as associated with lunatic to lunar moon. And you know something about that? A lot. It makes sense because you're talking about Looney. Looney being kind of crazy. A lot of people, use the moon as like a lot of people, or there's a belief that the moon kind of affects people's moods or personalities, right? So I mean, there's something to it, like maybe the moon makes certain people crazy, and it's also kind of like a werewolf, where the moon makes you loony, makes you wild, like a vicious beast. Angels said, and last chapter people were enjoying the night, but were also thinking about how annoying it was going to be when the sun goes up. Good point. Yeah, but yeah, I don't really have much else to add to this theory. I do like the end of it. I think the last point, I think that's where your point really start to actually come together, or your theory started to come together. People commit more crimes during the moon. True. I think it affects certain animals as well, Man, then Best just said, was a great stream. Hey, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you joining and being part of the chat, being part of the discussion. I also appreciate everybody else who was pretty much part of the discussion. Best Jen said, thank you. Hey man, thanks for coming. Thanks for giving your 2 cents in the chat. But yeah, you're welcome. It was an enjoyable theory. I'm still not fully sold on it, but the end of it kind of has me sold. I'm sold on the last part of the speculation. Angel said Moon is set people free. After all, Dolphy used conquerors at nighttime. But yeah, y'all, and was attacked by village people in the night. Yeah, y'all. So tomorrow I will be doing another video. We will be doing another stream. I think there's this video from Randy Choi that I think it's from Randy Choi. It was about something about Nika, or Luffy being like, I think it's Nika being a snake and Luffy being a snake. Something along that line. I seen a theory out there, and I was a little interested because I know like back in Sky Piea there was that big snake that they also called the Sun God. So I'm trying to think if maybe that snake is related to Nika somehow. Maybe Nika was a snake or something. I don't know. But that would mean that the devil fruit should have been like the snake fruit and not the human fruit, if that's the case. But again, we're probably gonna react to that video. I think that's the video I'm gonna react to. But yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow for another stream. And that will be the last stream of this week. I won't be streaming Saturday. That I usually take off Saturdays. But I will be returning for the chapter stream on Sunday. I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the new chapter. I know some of y'all read the leaks. So y'all probably already know what happened. But I'm going to wait for the official. And we're going to do that chapter stream when that chapter drops from Shonen Jump. But anyway, y'all, make sure y'all hit that like button on y'all way out of here. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Also, if you are looking for a One Piece community to be a part of, we have the Discord and we have the Facebook group. Anyway, shout out to Best Jen. Shout out to Elids who went to go see that Doctor Strange movie. Shout out to Cube. Shout out to Adam. Shout out to B Wizzle TV. Shout out to Best Jen for the video and for being part of the chat. And shout out to Angel's Room and shout out to Stan. I know Stan was here today. Make sure. Well, yeah, Stan was here today. Yeah, man. Shout out to Stan. I ain't see Stan in a minute. And yeah, appreciate you guys for stopping through. Shout out to everybody who watched the stream, even if you're just listening to what I'm saying. I appreciate you. Make sure y'all like the stream. Make sure y'all like this stream. And see you guys tomorrow. It's your boy Sean P. the Bluff God, and I am out of here. Y'all have a good night. I'm out of here. Peace.